Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Please respond, everyone. Am I audible to all?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah. So, a very good afternoon to everyone. I hope you all are doing well and ready for this exciting begin. Before we start today's session, I kindly request everyone to please turn on your cameras for a quick group photo. Since we are meeting online, this photo will be a great memory for our first day together. Let's give it a few seconds. Everyone, please turn on your cameras for a quick photo shoot. I request everyone to please turn on their cameras.
Ma'am, can you off the camera?
Just wait for a few seconds. We are taking some screenshots. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. It's lovely to see all your faces. Now, let me officially welcome you to the first day of our faculty development program on the theme Corporate Governance, Business Ethics, and Legal Compliances in the Contemporary Business Environment, organized by School of Law, Netaji Subhas University, in collab with SADA Law House. We are really happy to have you all join us from different places. Over the next 5 days, we'll learn from amazing speakers, and today we are starting with a truly inspiring one. It's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Sapna. We welcome you, ma'am. Dr. Sapna is the principal and professor at Ramaiah Institute of Management Studies, Bangalore. She has completed many degrees, including MBA, PhD, postdoctoral certificates, MSc in psychology, and even a course in management education from IIM Bangalore. She has more than 21 years of experience in both teaching and working in the HR field. She is one of the few in Karnataka who has completed postdoctoral research from ISEC. Dr. Sapna has given more than 50 presentations around the world and has published many research papers in top journals. She has also won Best Paper Awards, led international projects, and proudly represented India at global forums. She is known for guiding and mentoring both teachers and students with a great passion and dedication. Ma'am, we are truly happy and honored to have you with us today. We welcome you, ma'am. The screen is all yours. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, nice.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Very much. Thank you so much for that introduction. And I would like to appreciate, first of all, the organizers along with Ms. Anushri for inviting me for this event. And I could see a lot of people, allied people joining the meeting, which shows time is not a constraint for learning, actually, irrespective of course, many of you would be busy in your own schedule and all that. So despite that, I truly would like to appreciate the organizers and the team for inviting me for this event. And Can I know be around half an hour or 45 minutes along with the question and answer session?
Ma'am, it's total of 1 hour, in which 15 minutes is for your session. And
Okay, so I will take 15 minutes of my session and I'll keep 15 minutes for Q&A.
yeah, it's 50 and 10.
50 and
Yes.
10. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I would like to ask the audience, what is your understanding on ethical leadership? Can you please tell me? Any of you? Let's make it more interactive than one way, because in online I can also understand. Many times I have done signing in and just putting it on mute mode, and we are busy with our own work. So whatever the time given to me, I wanted it to be highly interactive, because my time is also important and I also appreciate your time as well. Anybody who want to tell me what is ethical leadership at random? Anybody?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Basically, ethical leadership, according to my knowledge, refers to the leadership that is directed by ethics, beliefs, or values.
Yes. See, I would like to redefine it in a slightly little organized way. On a daily basis, all of us, forget about a leader, all of us make decisions in our own work on a daily basis, whether you are a professor or you are a lawyer or you're anybody for that matter in a company, or you're not working, you're at home. On a daily basis, we make lot of decisions, but that decisions sometimes will have implications on others and will hurt others, and the same time that decisions will have growth both for us also and for others also. So now I gave you two scenario. One is the decisions whatever we make will have an implications on others, and decisions whatever we make is having good progress on others. So in both the scenario, first scenario what I told, which is going to hurt the others, is more of unethical, and in the second scenario whatever I've mentioned, which is going to help others to grow, is more towards ethical leadership, because it not only guides the organization towards sustainable success but also fosters trust. So once you start guiding others, people will start trusting you, and they will think you have high level of integrity, and there will be accountability in the organization. That's why if you see most of the leaders who are ethically strong, they will be guided by a very, very strong team. So with their presence or without their presence, automatically the team will deliver. In organizations, in most of the organizations, be it any kind of law firms or manufacturing or services or any kind of profit making organizations, it talks about honesty, fairness, transparency and respect for others, right? That's why I told you, you need to have respect to others as well. See, while in leadership, what happens is we will become very greedy about we getting publicity and recognition across all the time. But most of the time, when you start giving respect for others and when you are going to consider everybody's success is going to be your success, then automatically you will also grow, your company will also grow, and it will be more towards overall organizational growth as well. And can you tell me why ethical leadership is very important in today's world? What is the reason?
Fairness,
Ma'am.
transparency.
Okay. Oh, that is one reason.
Ma'am, everyone in business, in corporation, in corporate culture, we follow some rules and regulations which
Oh,
is according to ethics, right,
oh,
ma'am?
right.
And to maintain that transparency
Mhm.
or to work in such transparency or efficient working efficiency of the management, we have to follow some rules and regulations, and these rules and regulations are necessary for the effective work of the management. That's
Very,
why I think it's necessary.
very good. Thank you, Anushri, and the other person. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
It's Maushmi Sinha from PhD research scholar from Usha Martin
Oh,
University,
very
Ranchi.
nice.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, well said, Paushmi and Anushri. I would like to give a small example about how unethical leadership has created a big, big, big mistake for a company. I'm sure all of you would be aware of Satyam Computers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody who is not aware of Satyam scandal, I don't mind telling it for 2-3 minutes. You can raise your hands if you don't know about Satyam scandal. All of you are aware Satyam scandal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm happy. Good that everybody is aware. Okay. Okay, Nisha Kumari has raised her hand. Nisha Kumari, Satyam is one of the very, very, very highly appreciated IT and IT enabled services company. And before any other company could do really well in India, Satyam company computers was super normal profits they were earning. So what the company did was, the company CEO Ramalinga Raju confessed that he influenced, leading to a significant corporate fraud case in India. The scandal resulted in a loss of investors' confidence and prompted reforms in corporate governance practices. It serves as a reminder of the need for ethical standards and oversight in corporate leadership. Now, what has happened in short, I'll tell you. The CEO or the founder of Satyam Computers, Ramalinga Raju, has bloated the share prices and made a lot of people to invest in Satyam Computers. And one fine day, he made the scandal so public that he got arrested. Right now, I don't know the current situation of Mr. Ramalinga Raju, whether he was in jail, he is in jail, or what it is. But honestly, I'll tell you, lakhs and lakhs of people lost their job for no fault of them. Many people who were working with Satyam Computers lost their job on one fine day. They got a message in the mobile or through email, suddenly that they have no job. So for no fault of them, because of one individual person's greediness. So what this Ramalinga Raju has done is, he has bloated the price, and he has opened another company parallelly, which is named Mytas, MYTAS. If you make Satyam Ulta, it will be pronounced as Mytas, MYTAS. He opened another company. He diverted all the funds to that company, and he did this big scandal. Because of one individual person, there are two parties who got affected. One, lakhs of employees who were working in the company who lost their job. Second, lakhs and lakhs of investors who have invested as shares in the company. Satyam company's share prices fell like anything. I still remember so many people committed suicide because they have lost shares through Satyam Computers. So this talks about how an unethical leadership can definitely change the system, what we see, how we see. That's why, as I told you, ethical leadership is need of the hour. It is very, very, very important. Now, the role of leadership in cultivating ethical culture is, let's say, for example, all of you might think, why are we here talking about ethical leadership? I am not heading any position in my organization. I'm just an employee in the organization. Should I really have to listen to this topic? Definitely, it would be thought in your mind as well. Correct or not? Do I agree? Many
Yes.
of you might think, I'm not a leader. I don't have any key position in my organization. I don't hold any kind of leadership role in my organization. Then why the hell the topic is for? I would really see, Anushri is also giving thumbs up. I would really appreciate the organizer, because this is the need of the hour. See, in an entrepreneur, all of you would have heard about entrepreneur, who is a business person who does business. There is something called intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is a person, let's say even you are at the lowest level in the organization in terms of an employment, what you have. By being, you can contribute your particular society, whichever you are belonging to, in a better way. So like that, individually, all of us, let's start doing in wherever we are. What happens? It becomes a group culture. That's why there is something called group dynamics in HRM. If you learn HR, there is something called group dynamics. Okay, what is group dynamics is, when the entire group is doing something good, automatically they will try to influence the organization as well. Now what happens? The best things will be influenced by the organization, and automatically organization will grow. That is what ethical leadership means. You don't really have to become a leader or hold a key position or have a top position in an organization to have ethical leadership or to have ethics in your organization. I'll give you one more example. In 2016, it was revealed that Wells Fargo, I'm sure all of you have heard about the company, right? Wells Fargo. Employees had created millions of unauthorized accounts to meet aggressive sales targets. So because the employees were given a lot of sales targets, Wells Fargo company employees have opened a lot of unethical accounts. This unethical practice resulted in hefty fines and damage the bank's reputation. The case highlights the dangers of a corporate culture that prioritizes performance metrics. So what happens is, let's say you're part of a team and you're a leader, you're holding a small team under you. To let's say, let me start with an housekeeping itself. In an organization, it starts with cleanliness, housekeeping department. Let's say I am part of the housekeeping department. Even in the housekeeping, I'm just an employee. I'm not a head of the housekeeping. Now, what do I do? Whatever the portfolio is given to me, if I'm going to do it with full commitment, with full involvement. Now, what happens out of 10 people? There are 10 people, and I have done my job perfectly. At least looking at me, 4 or 5 of them will start doing things in a better way. Now, what happens? This culture will be influenced. Now, everybody else, next level, blue collar workers. Now, blue collar workers will see housekeeping people and say, if they can do the job in a better way, why not we do? So now what is happening is you're positively influencing one group over the other group. When I told the case study of Wells Fargo, so Wells Fargo is a negative way of influencing. Now what Wells Fargo has done, they have given unrealistic sales targets to the employees. When the unrealistic sales targets was given to the employees, all the employees had no other option but to prove something. So you want to prove something, automatically you'll have to set aside your ethics and integrity. So all these employees, what they have done is they have created fake accounts and showing that they have shown targets. This has created a lot of unethical happenings in the in the company, and it has resulted in a lot of fine to the company. That's why if you are able to really make a small difference in wherever you are, as I just told you, you don't have to be a leader, or you don't have to head the team, or you don't have to become a very senior person in the organization. That's how I have seen. In my 22 years of my journey, when I started with, a basic lecturer, 0 years of experience, I thought whatever the portfolio is given to me, let me do it at the best. So wherever I started doing it, I was able to people started recognizing me. So if you see many leaders like Tata, recently Tata, we have read so many stories about him. How he has, turned around the company. He has driven the entire company into a value-based organization, exemplary way, how, they have created a different kind of best way. So while talking about Tata, I would like to give one more example on Volkswagen. It's a car company. I'm sure all of you are aware of. Either Volkswagen it is called as, but in the pronunciation we call it as Volkswagen. So this company, there is an emission scandal, what they did. Volkswagen company admitted to installing software in diesel engines to cheat emission test. So what they did, this company, they installed a software which will cheat the emission test, affecting millions of vehicles worldwide. This deliberate deception led to substantial fines, legal actions, legal suits, and a tarnished reputation of the company. The incident underscores the recognition of the compromising ethical standards for competitive advantage. So now the company wanted to sell more products. In order to sell more products, what they have done, they have compromised on the ethical standards. So what they did, they have installed a software which will by default artificially show the clearance of emission test. Somehow they got caught at one fine day. Correct? No? In front of law, definitely everybody will be get caught at one fine day. So now what has happened? The company has to pay crores and crores of fine to the government because they were violating the norms. So if you see, I gave you an example of Tata's, which is one of the best, which has maintained ethical leadership. I also gave you an example of an unethical practices like Volkswagen's emission test example, Wells Fargo example, where employees were given unrealistic targets. So even as a leader, for example, when you are a leader of the company, now initially I told you about, you are an employee. Out of 24 people here around, at least 1, 2 of you or 3 of you would be having some kind of control in your team or heading some position. Now, even in that case, if you are able to take people into confidence and get them involved, empower them, automatically they'll start delivering and trusting you. They will automatically start delivering towards the progress of the company. So that is what it is. And one more example I would like to give you. Okay, commitment to environment stewardship. Outdoor apparel company Patagonia. Patagonia is an outdoor apparel company. Demonstrated ethical leadership by integrating environmental responsibility. So what this company has done is, it is into a business model. In 2011, discovering a manufacturing defect, this company issued a public recall and offered full refund. The company said there is a small manufacturing defect, and the company themselves admitted to the public saying that there is a manufacturing defect. We would like to recall all the products and we will give you 100% refund. Don't you think it is a classic example for ethical leadership? The company could have hidden the fact completely. Nobody would have got to know. That too, it is an apparel. We may not even, understand what is a mistake or what is a defect. But the company has openly confessed to the customer saying that there's a defect. We would like to recall everything and we would like to reimburse everything. So these are all certain examples where by doing this, what happens is people will start having trust in you. If you're a big company, if you're a large company, when you start giving such kind of trust and kind of confidence, like for example, if it is a hospital, even though it's a terminal illness disease, one word from doctor, don't worry, things will fall in place. Don't you think you will feel comfortable? How many of you have heard about placebo effect? How many of you have heard about placebo effect? Placebo. Placebo effect. Anybody? At least, unmute and tell me whether you know or not so that I can tell you what it is.
No, ma'am, please tell us.
Okay. Placebo is, for example, you have a headache, right? And you go to a doctor. Headache is of no reason. Simply for stress or some reason, you have an headache. You go to a doctor. Now, what doctor is going to do is, he's going to give you a tablet filled with water. Instead, there is nothing. Just water is there. Distilled water, sterile water is there. But you are not told that it is a water. He will tell you this is one of the best medicine in the country. The moment you take the tablet, you will be all right. I'm telling you, 50% of terminal illness patients also have cured because of placebo effect. So many people, you have to follow Dr. Mickey Mehta in Instagram and understand, because he works on this kind of placebo effect in many places, talks about manifestation, how our thought process will have create change in what we see, our looks and our society, immediate society and all. So placebo effect is when you keep on giving confidence to your team. I'm referring this placebo effect to the team. When you keep on giving confidence to your team that yes, you can do, you're protecting your team, you're not complaining, you're representing your team to the management in a positive way, and management has got high regards for your team. Now what happens is automatically you will have that morale in the organization. Anything that you want to do, your employees will do for you. Anytime you call them and ask them to do, they will do for you. That is placebo effect. So in placebo effect, what happens is blindly you will believe. See, many times what happens when you are critically ill or when you are not keeping well, whatever the medicine prescribed by the doctor, and doctor is going to tell you everything is going to be all right by tomorrow. Even if you have the fever, but still mentally you will feel you're all right. That is called as placebo effect. So this placebo effect also plays a very important role in ethical leadership. When a leader is open, transparent, and he or she is going to give you a lot of confidence, then automatically employees will start following him or her. Blindly they'll start following him. That is why in Tamil Nadu, if you see, there are so many followers are there for Rajinikanth. Even now he must be around 75, 80 years of old age, but the people follow him blindly. Why? Because it's a placebo effect. They see him as a superstar. So like that, if you have to become superstar in your own organization, whichever organization you belong to, you should become the superstar of your organization. Because what happens is most of the time we tend to, once you start gaining something, you tend to forget the people around you. You become very greedy. You start looking at your own self, about how you make yourself better than thinking about others. That is where ethical leadership comes into picture. And how it will contribute to organizational successes when all the people are going to follow you. Automatically, what happens? Your vision will be aligning towards organizational vision. And all the employees will be working towards organizational vision. So that is how it is. I myself see my father had a company around 20 years before. There were close to 200 people working under him. He was very strict. I know even now reasonably strict. Earlier days he used to be very, very strict. But if it comes to taking care of them, he had taken care of them very well. That recently we performed in 2019, we performed our third sister's wedding. The company got sold in the year 2007, almost close to around 17, yeah, 15, 20 years before. So when we performed the wedding, most of the work, whatever, we were supposed to do was done by the ex-employees of our company. All these ex-employees are working in different companies in different roles, in very senior roles. Few are earning 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs per month. But when I saw them typically distributing coconuts, arranging the marriage, helping my father to get it fixed, many things, I myself was, astonished to see what kind of, ethical leadership he would have had, so that even after 15 years, wherein he had sold the company, people have come back, his employees have come back to help him in the process. So that is leadership. People should remember you for what you have done. So when that kind of confidence, if you are able to give, automatically company will also grow. I would also like to touch on consequences of unethical leadership. Unethical leadership can lead to severe repercussions, including legal penalties. I just told you about Satyam Computers. So which has attracted legal penalties. I also told you about Volkswagen company, car company, because of the emission software which they have, the loaded in the system to give a false emission test. They had to pay unbearable penalties to the company, to the bank, and to the government. And loss of stakeholders trust. People will stop believing you when they get to know that you're not ethical. They will stop believing you. And high-profile corporate scandals have underscored the devastating impact of ethical landscape. For example, many standard companies have gone for a toss because the leadership is not proper. Why do you think there are so many leaders the companies have still retained, like Sundar Pichai, if you think? Do you think somebody cannot bypass Sundar Pichai in terms of intelligence? There are so many Sundar Pichais now. It is not that Sundar Pichai is like a monopoly, nobody can replace him. There are many number of Sundar Pichais in the country. But still, why do you think they have retained him? Because of the integrity, because of the contribution, because of the commitment what he has towards the organization. So to promote ethical leadership, what organizations should do is clear code of ethics. I'm sure most of them are lawyers or pursuing law or doing PhD. Code of ethics is very important. What is code of ethics? You need to establish standards. Okay, you need to establish standards and communicate that standards to the employees, which is very important. Because in the organization, communication is key. And second one is, you have established the standards. What Gandhi has told to all of us: practice before you preach. We need to lead by example. Let's say I have established a standard that this is how my organization should be, and I myself violate that standard. Then my employees will not follow automatically. They will think the owner or the leader himself is like that, herself is like that. Why will I follow? So you need to lead by example. So leaders should model ethical behavior, demonstrating integrity in all actions and decisions. Provide ethical training. Today, the platform FDP, the topic is more like an ethical training only. So that's why when I started my speech, I told it's a very good thing what the organizer has done as a topic, because that is a need of the hour. Because everywhere, whatever you do, there is a violation. Traffic, there's a violation. You buy a car, there is a shortcut to violate tax, and you can reduce this tax and do something else. Everywhere there is violation. That's why such kind of seminars will kind of awareness to everybody that we need to follow that high level of ethical standards and implement accountability in case if somebody is violating the ethical standards set by the organization. Keep accountability. What is the action taken? How to monitor the system and compliance and address violation appropriately. You should not make that, okay, we will leave it, next time we will see. If somebody has created unethical behavior or they have violated the rules, you need to make sure that you monitor the compliance and violation should be addressed appropriately. If that is not done, automatically people will think anyway he's been given relaxation, so that I will also get relaxation. That is what happens. So that should not be there. There must be some value associated, and definitely for every kind of violation of rules, there must be some checks and balances. Otherwise, definitely what happens is automatically people will think I can also do that. I would like to refer a case study which happened in the year 1982. Johnson and Johnson, all of us are aware of. So Johnson and Johnson faced a dire crisis when 7 individuals died after consuming cyanide-laced Tylenol capsule. I would like to repeat again. Johnson and Johnson faced a dire crisis when 7 individuals died after consuming cyanide-laced Tylenol capsules. Despite the contamination occurring post-production, CEO James Burke promptly ordered a nationwide recall of 31 million bottles, costing over $100 million. The company introduced a tamper-proof packaging and launched a transparent communication campaign, prioritizing consumer safety over profits. This decisive action not only restored public trust but also set a benchmark for crisis management and corporate responsibility. So in the 1982, when Johnson and Johnson company faced a crisis where 5 people died because of consuming medicine, they recalled everything, whatever was available in the market from Johnson and Johnson. They recalled everything, which costed them over $100 million, which is not a small money. But they took a risk because they don't want to compromise on the life of the individual. So when they recalled all this, see, obviously when it happens, we will lose trust. But this made people to have more trust on the company. Take an example of Maggie. Few years before, how many of us stopped using Maggie when government said lead content is there? In fact, I myself is an example. On the day when I saw in the media about lead content in Maggie, in fact, around 10 packets were there at home. That day only I went to some mart, D-Mart, Vishal Mart, whatever the mart, and purchased some 10 packets so that I can prepare it for my kids. So when I saw the news, immediately I threw it off. I didn't even bother to give it to anybody. My husband told me, let us give it to the maid. I said, no. Even maid should not eat and get sick. Let us throw it off. So all of us stopped using Maggie when government said there is a lead content. No, all of us have restarted using Maggie, eating Maggie. Why? So government also allowed, and Maggie also came up and said that we are safe now. That is the trust what we have towards the company, which talks about ethical leadership. Same as the example of dairy milk. When Amitabh Bachchan sir, endorsed the brand in 2009, there were worms in few of the outlets where this dairy milk was placed. So there was a huge controversy, and people started banning here and there, started throwing chocolates, dairy milk chocolates. The company did not, take this as a big challenge. The company said we will rework on the packaging and we will make sure wherever our product is placed, it is in a safer box. So now if you see dairy milk, wherever you see dairy milk, it will be either in a bottle or a box or in a refrigerator. This is redefining the product, reassurance. There is a problem. You're not going to run away from the problem. You are reassuring your customer that the product is safe to consume. There are so many such products where they have got into trouble, but there is a reassurance from the company's side saying that product is safe to consume. In one of these years, ITC's marketing strategy of cigarettes was banned by the government. Government, not only ITC, government said no more advertisement of cigarettes. ITC used to spend crores and crores of money in advertising cigarettes. So when government banned advertisement of cigarettes, ITC CEO said, it is not a challenge for us. The money, whatever we have been spending in investing for marketing of cigarettes, we will be diverting into FMCG products, fast moving consumer goods products. So that is how we eat Sunfeast Dark Fantasy, we see Vivel soap. There are so many FMCG products that has come out from ITC. So what is this? This is redefining strategy. In a leadership, that is what is very important. In an ethical leadership, when there is a challenge, how do you convert the challenges into an opportunity is very, very, very important. We have seen so many examples like this in corporate where a lot of challenges have been converted into. So that gives sense of. I've heard so many from so many of my cousins and friends that Tata Consultancy Services, people or employees will not leave the job. It is more like a government job. Why do you think that? Because in IT and IT enabled services, there are so many people who are always on job insecurity. They think anytime I might lose the job if there is no project. But in TCS, the good practice is they will not throw you out of the company. They'll not throw the employees out of the company. They'll give chance for them to improvise on. So now what happens, even if I'm a poor performer, I will still have chance to prove myself. So this gives confidence in the employees. This gives trust to the employees. So that is what is ethical leadership is all about. It is ethical leadership is not that you do something good, you don't do bad, nothing as such. It is how do you keep your environment, that is society around you, happy with high level of integrity. Your decisions are not going to disturb others, and you're going to lead the team in such a way that they have confidence in you. They have developed trust in you, so that you're not going to face a lot of situations where you have to pay either fine or penalty to the government, or pay huge fine to the government, or tax in a different way altogether. All this. Couple of years before, we encountered a small example where one of our student, not 2, 3, I'm sorry, one of our student, her brother was working for Kia. All of us are aware of Kia, right? Cars. So he was working for Kia company as an account specialist or whatever it is in different capacity with respect to finance. And there was a fraud done by him in terms of financial fraud. So as lawyers are there, if there is a financial fraud, there will be definitely a lawsuit. Because her name was there in that, she was supposed to, be arrested. There was an arrest warrant in my student's name. For no fault of hers, because her name was there in her brother's this thing, she discontinued the course in between, and she begged us to an extent where somehow she said, please allow me to come and write the exam and all. Finally, we took a legal opinion, and then we allowed her to write the exam. See, because of one individual, how the family itself suffers. That's why any decision that we make will have repercussions on our family, on our immediate society, in our workplace, wherever we are. If every politician, for example, decides that I'm not going to be corrupt, here there is no reference to any politician. If at all, if somebody has done, it is only for whomsoever it may concern to them. I'm not referring to any individual politician, but in general, if they feel, let me lead by example, don't you think India will become a developed country probably within the next 6 months? Across the nation, if all the politicians decide that, let me focus on my jurisdiction, my constituency, whatever I can deliver to my people with my capacity, right from the councillor to the top level, ministers and MPs and chief minister at all the states, don't you think India will become a developed country within 6 months? I can guarantee. Similarly, if all the corporate leaders decide that, let me do something good for my people who are working under me, don't you think that all the employees will be peacefully working without any stress? There will not be any sudden cardiac arrest. There will not be any kind of health issues unless and until you have your own, gene-oriented health issues. There will not be any kind of stress going around. Why should we focus on mental health these days? Why there are so many counseling centers growing up now? Why do you think all that? Because all of us are in some stress or the other. To prove what? To prove for yourself? No. On a daily basis, we are trying to prove for either for my manager or for my family or for the people around me. Not at all. Just imagine in a family, if the head of the family decides, let me lead my family by example. I will do exactly the value set by my superiors. The family will be happy. That is how we all were grew up. If you are young, you should talk to your parents to understand how in a joint family setup, family had a strong, bonding with each other. Is it happening now? No. Most of us live separately. So that bond is slowly getting diminished over a period of time. So the word ethics itself is not confined only to the leader. As a human being, there are certain standards set by our elders. That may be legal standards, that may be production standards, that may be in terms of corporate standards, everywhere, whatever it is. If we are able to do that, in align with that, automatically ethical leadership will not at all be a problem at all. But what is happening is, for no fault of us, for example, why do you think health issues are developing on a daily basis? Because we eat all contaminated food, we eat all adulterated food. Is it our mistake? No, it's not our mistake. Somebody who's very greedy, who want to earn more, would have contaminated or adulterated the food. That is having an implication on so many people. My mother was suffering from cancer in last few years, and we lost her in the year 2023. So when we used to go for the treatment, we used to see all young people, small children taking treated over there. Out of my interest and curiosity, when I asked the doctor, what could be one of the main reasons, they said, most of the food what we take are adulterated, including milk what we drink. Is it my mistake? No, I pay for the product and buy it. Whose mistake? Because of somebody who is very greedy enough, who wants to make more money. So here also, as an individual, whatever I do, if I can able to do with my consciousness, with my own conscience on what I want to contribute, automatically, if all of us think that way, see, there are around 28 people here today, including me. If all of us think at my own level, whatever best thing I can do with high level of integrity, if you are a lawyer, be honest to your client and don't fall prey for money. Analyze the situation. And if you know which is correct, which is not correct. Okay, if you know which is not correct, but still you wanted to argue for the person which is actually not okay, don't do it. Your conscience should tell, no, don't do it, because the other party will suffer. Automatically what happens? Victims will be able to gain best judgment. That is not happening in legal field also. I'm not generalizing it again. In wherever the places, wherever it is happening, because I myself personally have seen in many places the victims will still suffer, and the other people, whoever are supposed to face the trauma, will happily get out of it. Many times I have faced such situation. So similarly, if you are a lawyer, if you are a doctor, I have seen so many of my relatives, for no reason, they would have simply gone for a checkup. They will come out of the hospital with 1 stent, 2 stent, triple vessel disease. And then when we go for a second opinion, they'll say this should not have done. Doctors are also in targets. That's why they all simply operate the patient and send them across. Would you do it for your daughter? Would you do it for your son? Would you do it for yourself if you are the person? Think about it. If you are a teacher, let's say, if you can change at least 10% of the students, don't you think that is ethical leadership? Any profession you are in, if you can change a small portion, I'm not saying you have to become like a Gandhiji and change the entire country, or become a kind of leader where you're going to politician and do something great. No. Whichever place you belong to, in the house or in the employment office, wherever you are, if you can, small things, if you can focus on being actually good, don't you think you yourself will feel satisfied at the end of the day? I'll give you a small example before my concluding remark. Okay, recently I visited one of the temple few weeks before, and that temple, they do a fire walking ceremony, meaning people will stay there throughout the day and they walk over the fire. Fire is not the exact fire, charcoal, burnt charcoal. So they'll walk over that. So there were close to 500 people and close to around 100 cars were there. My husband also walked over that. We had a wish to fulfill. So once you get it fulfilled, you walk over the fire to show this thing to the God. So while this was happening, one small girl, around 17 years old girl, she fell in the fire and she got burnt throughout. So me and my husband, we were waiting for her to come out of the temple, and we took her in our car we drove for almost 1 hour to go to the government hospital, admitted her, and we came back. There were, I just told you, there were around 100 cars. Nobody even bothered to stop over to take her to the hospital. In fact, she was trying to, herself and her family was trying to put her in a two-wheeler. And next day morning, I got a call from the parent, one of the parent of her, saying that you are like God who came and supported us, because if at all, if we would have delayed by another 15 minutes, half an hour, probably that burnt thing would have got into the blood and we would have lost her. Doctor said you have brought her on time and she's safe now. She'll have to be in the hospital for 1 month with that plastic surgery and all, but her life is saved. So this is a small thing. Why I'm saying this is, if you start doing every small thing at wherever you are, don't you think it will really create a big change to the society? So that is what is ethical leadership, is what I feel. As a concluding remark, what I would really like to give is, ethics in corporate leadership and decision making is not just a moral impress, like like a moral story what we have read in our own childhood. It is not something moral. Each one of us should practice. As I told you, not a leader alone should practice. You should practice. You should be an inspiration for your own leader. You should be an inspiration for your own self, for your students, for the society, whichever you belong to. So when you start committing of upholding this ethical principles in our professional life, in our personal life, a true measure of leadership will evolve, and you will feel satisfied about your own self. Imagine so many people lost their lives during COVID. And so all of us are alive because of a small group of doctors, nurses who had set aside their families without any kind of expectations. They had come to the hospital to do service. If they can do, why not we? You tell me. So that's how I see ethical leadership is. So that's it from my end. Any questions you can ask me. Anybody, you can ask me questions if you have.
Ma'am, we have received some questions from the participants.
Okay, ma'am.
The first question is, in situation where we profitably and ethically responsibility conflict, how should corporate leaders strike a balance?
I gave an example, right, madam, with Johnson and Johnson company. See, when you are going to see, if it comes to profitability and ethical leadership, of course, for a company to grow, profits are very, very, very important. There is no doubt about it. But not at the compromise on hurting or harming people or the society. Suppose if you are able to give confidence to your stakeholders that along with the profitability, we also deliver ethics, values, and integrity, people will definitely believe in you. Even if you're making a higher price, people will take an example of Apple company. Gives you security, also tells you your data is secured enough. So people, yes, iPhone is a premium brand. So we pay iPhone buyers buy iPhone for two reasons. One is, of course, it's going to give you a status symbol. Second is what? For the safety and security reasons. All the iPhone buyers are convinced that the data, whatever we share is safe and secure. So that is what is important. Along with profitability, when you are going to combine and share it to the customers, as I told you, communication is the key. You need to communicate. Yeah, Anmol, I agree. Tata Nano and Ola Electricals. Yes, Anmol, I agree very much.
Yeah, ma'am, there is one more question that I would like to ask. What role do corporate codes of ethics and internal compliances program play in a guiding ethical decision making at the leadership level?
Definitely. See, corporate code of ethics, as I mentioned, when I join a company, I should be knowing what is the code of ethics that is followed by the company. When the company is going to define all that code and communicate it to the clients and to the employees, automatically it will create a sense of belonging. There is something in HR terminology, we call it as employees participation in management. That is why earlier employees were called as people were called as personal management. Then it became human resource management. Then it became employees. Now the new terminology is citizenship behavior, corporate citizenship behavior. Okay, citizen means you feel that belonging to the organization. So that is why code of ethics, communicating that to the employee is very important, and checks and balances, meaning in case if there is a violation of that, what kind of repercussions it is going to create. You need to communicate. That is very, very important. Hope I
Okay.
answered your question.
Yes, Neetu, please. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering it. Here, Neetu wants to ask something.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Like now, in this insight, like in this insightful session, you talk about that a lot of challenges turn into the opportunity in corporate sector. So my question to you is that what are some common challenges that organization can face while implementing ethical business governance, and how, like, they can be addressed basically?
Sorry, your voice is not audible, ma.
Ma'am, my question, am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible.
Ma'am, my question to you is that what are
Yes.
some common challenges that organization can face while implementing ethical business governance, and how, like, they can be addressed basically?
See, if it is a manufacturing sector, there will be certain standards set by the government. For example, if you take food, okay, they have to comply FSSAI standards. Recently, in Chennai, more than 100 hotels were seized because they are not following FSSAI standards. And even in Bangalore also, I'm sure all of you are aware, in the food item what we eat, which is called gobi manchuri, they add color which which is carcinogenous. Don't you think this is a violation of standard? So these are the challenges. See, when you want to make certain things very attractive, it might cost certain people also. So morally, if you feel that is not going to, you have to avoid these things. These, and like for example, if it is employees, with respect to employees, keeping a standard working hours is one of the integrity what you follow. Okay, keeping them in high morale, meaning empowering the people, employees. Again, one level of ethical standard what the company can follow. Like, excuse me, like that, there will be lot depending upon every individual company. Code of conduct can be decided. If it is an IT company, it is on security, breach of data, trust, and all that. So, like that, depending upon the company, there will be having a lot of challenges. And as a leader, if the person is able to address these challenges and communicate it to the subordinates, automatically employees also will start following. That is what I could say ethical leadership is all about, and challenges. Anushi, what is your question?
Ma'am, the question
Ma'am,
is ma'am, question is relating to how can corporate leaders foster a culture of ethics and integrity within their organization when it
Okay,
comes to
as a
culture,
team,
ma'am?
for example, there is a leader. As a
Yes, ma'am.
leader, if he or she is going to involve everybody, and everybody feels that they have been heard in the organization, I have my own, way to express my thoughts and views. I will not be taken wrong. If that sense of, expression of thought is given to the employees, automatically employees will feel that yes, my word, my idea is also being valued. I'll give you an example. I did my internship with Hyundai Motor India Chennai manufacturing unit, and my project with Shining company in China. One good culture what I've seen in Hyundai as well as in China, the Hyundai is a Korean company, all of us are aware. And in China also, whatever I've seen, the good, one of the best culture what I've seen is, if it comes to work, everybody will be busy. Once the work is done at lunchtime, everybody will join together, including the production manager will be sitting and having with the blue collar workers. They'll be chit chatting as if they are like a good friends. And once the lunchtime is over, they'll go back to their own seats, start working, and then while leaving again, they are very close to each other. So now what happens over here? You are separated by work. But if it comes to socializing, all of you are together. Now, what happens in this culture? Everybody will feel okay, even if not during the working timing. While I have lunch, I can express my thoughts to my friend. So there is a strong sense of culture what they have inculcated in the minds of the people. So everybody are very close to each other for with this company, and I could not see even one employee complaining, cribbing, or people are monitoring to check whether they are working or not. Without even monitoring, everybody are doing their own job because they are clear about what is expected to be done. And they come, perform, have lunch, happily, chit chat during lunchtime, go back to the job, work, and then pack it up. So that is the kind of leadership what we are expecting in India. But in India, what is happening is the sad reality is we are known for a leader sitting inside the AC room. You take appointment. You wait for him or her to be available, and that is what happens in most of the places. That I think we need to have a radical change in that. That open system should come. It's just a matter of position or a designation which makes a person different from one to other. Otherwise, each of us have our own role to play in. Let's take a small example. If the toilets are not clean, one day, yes, we can manage. Second day, reasonably we can manage. Third day, automatically, how much ever higher position you are, you need help of a housekeeping person to get it cleaned. So now her role is more important than your role in the organization. So now what happens here? You feel you are the best. You are the highest level of contributor. It is not that way. Let's say in a flight, for example, a small thing of closing the door by the air hostess, if it is not done properly. Do you think pilot role is more important than air hostess role? Air hostess role is more important here. Because if she has not, because she is the one, many times I've seen, after boarding the flight, they close the door. In case if she's not going to do the work, best pilots you have, still it will fail. So that's how it is. Every individual role is very important, and you need to value, as a leader, you need to value every individual person. You should not think that, okay, he or she is a blue collar worker, let me not respect. He or she doesn't have any kind of role, let me not give importance. When you start giving importance to every individual, they will start valuing you as a family member. That is what is important. Yeah.
I would like to request everyone, if they are having any questions regarding this session, they can ask now.
Yeah, sure.
We'll wait for 30 seconds. If
Yeah.
anyone is having any question, they can raise their hand.
Yeah, we are at 5:59. As you said, we can wait for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, I think no one is having any doubt. So we
Yeah.
can wrap up this session for today.
Yeah.
With that, we have come to the end of a very insightful and inspiring day one of our faculty development program. On the behalf of the School of Law, Netaji Subhas University, and yeah, sir, you have something to ask?
No. You can. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay. It's okay. So on the behalf of School of Law, Netaji Subhas University and SADA Law House, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sapna, for taking the time to share her deep knowledge and rich experience with all of us today. Ma'am, your words are truly added value and have given us a lot to think about. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank all the participants, faculty member, and the team members. Your presence and participation made this session very engaging and meaningful. Shout out to our team who is behind the scenes working very hard to make this event run so smoothly. Before we close, a gentle reminder to all the participants to please make sure to join us again tomorrow for the day 2 of FDP. We will continue our journey of learning with another exciting session, so don't miss it. Once again, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for such an engaging session.
Topic is very close to my heart because I always shout out on these topics every time, wherever I am, even in the family or in the work, wherever I am. So when Anushri told me about this, I was very happy because it is an opportunity for me to express my thoughts. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, both Anushri and the organizers. Very well organized, and your involvement is also very good. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sorry to
Madam,
interrupt in between. I would like to thank Swapna ma'am myself because she's one of the, ma'am has told about the culture which is there in China as well. So to tell you all of you, in our organization, ma'am has lunch with her own staff that I've seen in person. So whatever she has shared is her own experience. And thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you.
yeah, one more thing I want to add on the behalf of the Netaji Subhas University, ma'am. Thank you for the session. The entire session was really exciting and the valuable things which you added. I would like to bring here that most of the people who have joined the session are not only from law background, they are also from commerce background. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they must have learned a lot because the practical examples which were given on ethics and other stuffs were really exciting and
Thank
were valuable. So thank you very much on the behalf of Netaji and also SADA Law House. I would like to thank you. And yes, we'll be waiting for next day's session. And yes, there is also on the 5th day, there's a panel discussion. So yes, ma'am will be there. This is to everybody.